how's it going? Welcome back to a very special video with the host, the savior, the majestic host, the man who is actually 100% of sane mind. Yes. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is right around the corner, and you might have seen some YouTubers, the classic old 101 shills, basically saying there's something suspicious going on with Hellblade and all that kind of shit. Just because the marketing for this game has been terrible. Also, a lot of people are concerned, and understandably so, because of the whole drama surrounding Xbox at the moment, and just the current landscape of the gaming industry, okay? Now, I've known for a long time it's been complete shit, and it's only probably going to get worse, and games are going to just take longer and longer, and experimental games and good quality gems are going to be more difficult in the AAA space. Hopefully that means more AA games will exist, but who knows, this might get the chopping block from Xbox as well, hence why they haven't bothered marketing it. Or it's just to avoid spoilers.
I will not appease your gods. I will destroy them.
Today I will be giving you a very quick Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 review, okay? And you might be asking, what is this madness? What kind of review, savior? Well, it's based on the early access content that's been shown off to some content creators and industries like IGN, GameSpot, etc. There's not a lot to go on, but since no one is talking about this game, since there's no marketing whatsoever, why not we dissect and find out what's happening with Hellblade 2 reviews? Why is there nothing? Now, it's very likely that they're doing this to hold off spoilers since it is a very story-driven game, but also when there are no reviews until the release of the game, usually it's not a good sign, and we've seen that time and time again. I think Redfall had a similar review release, and it just depends on the game, but most of the time it's not a good sign. And I went back to play the original Hellblade to, really delve into this video and research exactly what type of game this is going to be, and then I did my extensive research, like I always do with my early access reviews, and basically we can decide if Hellblade 2 is worth it or not, if Hellblade 2 is worth buying, or if Hellblade 2 is worth playing, and I'm gonna say it's a bit of a mixed bag, so strap in and let's get to it. If you do like gaming content, more analytical gaming content, looking back at older games and really analyzing them, philosophical content, you're in the right place. Join the Wise One community. Don't be like the 99% of dummies on YouTube, and join us here today. From June going forwards, I'm putting everything on the line on this channel. I've quit my job. I'm trying to go full-time YouTube, so expect 5 videos a week. And yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy, but your support means a lot to me. If you can drop a donation, that would just be, you would be just, oh my god. Now, perhaps you haven't even played the first game, the first Hellblade game, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you haven't, because it is a AA game. It's not released by a massive studio, although it does have that Sony feel to it. It does have that PlayStation, Sony classic feel to it, but it's not, okay? This is not God of War, and that's good and bad, because the bad about this game is it's not really a game. And if you know anything about me and my taste in games, I love gameplay. Gameplay first, okay? I don't like where the industry is heading, where we're kind of forgetting what this media is. We're kind of trying to borrow elements from Hollywood movies, big blockbusters, TV shows. Don't get me wrong, I love cinematography. I love, good in-depth stories with, deep philosophical meanings behind them, which we can't have in games like in Fallout New Vegas, for example, or, Deus Ex, etc. But we need to remember that these are video games. We're not watching a movie. I don't want to sit down, play a game, and then find that I'm just moving the joystick forwards and pressing the occasional button. That's not engaging, okay? The Last of Us did a good job of balancing mediocre gameplay, I've got to be real, but it was enough to actually drive the story forwards and keep you invested. This game at times feels like it's lacking that, especially the first one, but judging from what people have said about the second one as well, it's not looking that hard. So this is very cinematic. It's made in the beautiful Unreal Engine, because we all live in simulation, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, but the art style is nice, that is important. But yes, it looks gorgeous. although it is blurry. I've seen many reports saying that this game looks very blurry. Maybe it's used in some kind of dynamic resolution, I don't know, but that could be why. But yes, graphically it's nice. From what I've heard, gameplay-wise is lacking, and we're going to get into all of the positives and negatives like I do with all of my reviews, early access reviews anyway. So yes, I do find it strange that we haven't really had any news about this, why there's no marketing behind it. I honestly think they haven't really done much, okay? This is going to be a nice story addition, but it hasn't really added any new flavor to the gameplay, okay, from what I've seen as well. I think they're just holding it very close to their chest, which is weird because it means way less sales, and way less people will be interested in this except for fans of the first game. But the story is all that they really have, let's be honest, okay? That's why. They are now using motion capture, you know, just like we would see in a big CGI Hollywood movie, even though we don't need to use it anymore because we have Sora and we have OpenAI to bless us with endless CGI movies that we can't even distinguish from reality. That's right, I'm not even here. I'm just an AI YouTuber. So let's talk about the combat. Okay, so they have added a basic dodge, which is nice. A parry, like in the first game as well, is to be expected. And of course, you do actually have this focus ability. And the big thing that made me interested in the combat, because yes, it does sound very similar, but they did add this new focus ability. And I really like that because it draws Link to what makes this game good, the story, and then adds, you know, a gameplay element to it. So basically, you draw from your trauma, okay, from your PTSD almost, or your schizophrenia, whatever. You draw from past bad experiences, and then basically you can use this focus ability to aid you in combat, and I think that's a pretty cool idea. Also, there's a hell of a lot new enemy types that you will be fighting, but what I don't like, okay, is it is very choreographed, okay? There is no escaping. I find that frustrating in even big open world games like The Witcher 3. When you're engaged in combat, it's kind of difficult to escape the enemy. You can do it, but it locks you into place, and it's just annoying. I want freedom. This is the complete opposite. When you're in, okay? There is no escape, pretty much. So, to me, that's just takes away agency. But like I said, this is a narrative game. It's not trying to challenge you with combat like Dark Souls or anything like that. Also, pretty much all of the enemies you fight will be 1v1, so, you know, that hasn't changed. They could have added much more in-depth combat system, but from what I've seen so far, from everything I know, it's exactly the same, just more cinematic with more animations, more finishers, and some better abilities. Maybe you get extra weapons later down the line, I don't know, but it all seems very, very by the numbers. And a big positive here is the story takes a little bit more of a personal approach. So before you were kind of on this quest, you know, to kind of bring peace to someone that you lost. Okay, I won't go into spoiler territory. But this time around, it's much more of a personal story, more about battling your own demons, kind of almost, you know, accepting that you do have these demons from what it seems like. So I think that, you know, leaning in on that, because that's what made the first game interesting to many. It was the audio design, it was, you know, the spatial awareness of having all of these different voices in your head, simulating what it's like having a mental illness in this time period when, of course, they just think they're cursed or something like that, which is an interesting setup. And now it seems like it's more a quest, okay? It's not so much just pure insanity.
I will destroy them.
It's got that big Viking energy, okay? It's got that big PP energy. And yeah, the art style looks amazing. More interaction with kind of mythological creatures, stuff like that, which I think is good. They're leaning into that more. And of course, it all looks amazing because it's on the Unreal Engine 5. The puzzles, okay? I hope they add more puzzles because the first one got very boring after a time where you're just doing the same thing over and over again. This time around, it does have that trick of the eye puzzles where you find faces or objects that you have to line up and then break her perception to kind of process and go forward, which I do like. That's a cool idea, but they need to add more variation, maybe some platforming. And this is a slight negative or positive depending on who you are. But personally, I find the constant voice chattering, I know that's the whole experience and the whole point of the game, but honestly, it doesn't really make for a very fun gameplay experience. I love me some dark fantasy games, and it does lean into that, but I never found the story super engaging, if I'm honest, okay? Yes, I know it's trying to raise awareness for mental health, which is very good. As someone who suffers from my own demons, I can appreciate that, but I just feel like they could have made the story a lot more interesting. You know, she's interesting as a character, but I don't really remember any of the characters before. And, you know, maybe this time around you do get supported more. There are more characters involved by the looks of it. But I just don't know how much of a good job it's going to actually make this world feel realized, not just her story. And that's what I'm hoping for. But so far, everyone says that, you know, it's basically the same game. It's just got better combat. What I mean by that is there's some more light combos that you can do, abilities that I talked about, more enemy variation, more cinematic, more animations, but it's still very bare bones combat. The puzzles looks to be the same from what I've seen so far. Maybe they add more to it, and maybe the exploration is slightly improved when you're going from one place to the next, but still this is very much a story-driven game, and it's got very bare bone gameplay mechanics. So that was my quick Hellblade 2 review. This one is completely going off other early access, not even my own early access, which is what I usually do, because there's nobody talking about this game. Okay, there's nothing out there pretty much, so I had to scour everything to basically form an opinion around this game before release, but I hope that's worth it, because you're not going to know if it's worth buying or not. Please never pre-order games, because you never know what you're going to get. They can't be trusted anymore, especially with the marketing and how it's easy just to get fooled by marketing, and they just seem to get away with it. False advertisement seems to be a forgotten law, and yeah, it just doesn't matter. So hold off on this one, I would say. But from what I've seen, if you love the first game, you're going to enjoy this. If not, don't expect that they've reinvented the wheel, because it doesn't look like it. But I do hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please do leave a like. I hope this video helped, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace out.